Hello, it's Zeta here, and I'll be talking about my laser eye surgery experience. I got the PRK Laser Eye Surgery done about 3 years ago. I'll be going over briefly about why I decided to go with PRK over LASIK, and my healing timeline, so basically the day of the surgery, what that was like, what the day after was like, day 2, month 1, etc. I'll tell you how it feels today and how I feel about it, any kind of side effects, and yeah. I wore glasses since I was 10 years old and contacts since I was 13. At the time of my surgery, my prescription was negative 4.75 for both eyes. The reason why I chose PRK over LASIK, I did a lot of research on this, but just to quickly sum it up, the main reason why I decided to go with PRK is because it's safer and there are less side effects. PRK does have a longer healing time. It's about a week before you can get back to work or school. LASIK is about 2 to 3 days. For me, it was the summertime and I was able to take time off of work. I was only taking one course at school, so 1 week off was an option for me, so I went with PRK. As for the experience, while I was at home for the week healing, I couldn't really open my eyes for the first bit. I was still like typing my experience on the computer, and so I'm reading it here on the computer while I'm telling it to you so that it's fresh in my mind. Okay, to get started. The day of the surgery, I was not nervous at all about the surgery. Actually, to be completely honest, I was actually more excited about the 1 week healing time because that means I don't have to go to school, I don't have to go to work, and I don't have to go out and socialize or do anything at all. Basically, I can stay at home for the entire week guilt-free because you know what? I can't see. And I was more excited about that than the surgery or the improved vision, but that's a whole nother story. So anyways, I went into the place, they rechecked my eyes, they take my blood pressure, they put a blue hairnet on my head, and I start to get nervous when they lay me down on my back beneath the lasers. The doctor puts several drops in each eye, and then he places some kind of device to keep my eyes open. So one eye is covered with an eye patch, the other one is opened with some device. It doesn't hurt, doesn't feel uncomfortable. Then he places a small loop in my eye. I want to say metal, but I really have no idea what these utensils really look like or what they are. But he places a tiny little loop in my eye, puts some drops of solution in there. The loop is so that the solution is contained within that little area. Then we wait 20 seconds. During that time, he tells me to focus on a blinking red light. It becomes a bit hard to focus on it because my vision becomes very blurry. And then he used a little tool to scrape my eyes, and I can see, it's very blurry, but I can see like little wiping motions, and there's a blurry haze of gunk, which I can see him removing. The actual laser portion of the surgery itself was only 39 seconds long. During that time, he's telling me to stare at a blinking orange light, and for 39 seconds, I feel a slight cool breeze and a clicking noise like tick, 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 tick. And after 39 seconds, the doctor wipes it, he pops some contacts in, and we're done. You can kind of smell the burning. It smells like when you light your hair on fire a little bit, like that burning protein smell. So the whole surgery took about 2 minutes per eye. So they cover one eye, they do this one, and then cover this one, do this one. So that was fine. It was completely painless. After the surgery is done, they walk you into this room, they give you all the drops, and they also give you a prescription for some pills, Tylenol, codeine, and walk you through the steps and what you should do. And then I go home. On my ride home, it starts to sting a little bit more, and that day happened to be very freaking sunny. Like I said, it was the summertime, and I hate the sun. I hated the sun even more today because even through my closed eyes and some very dark sunglasses that they gave me, the sun was still too bright. That's how light sensitive my eyes were. You need someone to drive you home, by the way. You can't bus home. Day 1. My eyes are still very light sensitive, so I kept them closed the whole time. I also kept the sunglasses that they gave me on while I was walking around at home. So sunglasses and closed eyes because they're so light sensitive. I woke up in the morning with no pain at all. but throughout the day the stinging did increase. People say that laser eye surgery feels like when you get shampoo in your eyes, and that's pretty spot on of how it feels, but it's not that bad. Some of the drops give me a really weird tingling, numbing, metallic taste in the back of my mouth, which is just ugh, gross. My vision wasn't perfect. It was pretty much the same as what my eyes were like before I got surgery. The night of day 1 was pretty rough. I had a hard time sleeping because they were irritating and stinging so much. For some reason, it felt worse on my back or my side, so I had to either get up or lie down on my stomach. I really don't like to take pain meds, so I try to avoid it at all costs, but I gave in. I put the pain medication drops in, that helped. I took the Tylenol with codeine, which knocked me out for only 2 hours at a time. So I only got sleep in 2-hour increments that night. It was a lot of tossing and turning. Day 2, the contacts are still in my eyes. Day 2 wasn't so bad. It was actually the morning of day 2 when I woke up, the coolest thing happened. So I had my eyes closed all night, right? When I opened them, a pool, like a waterfall of tears came out. So much that I could hear it. Like, you know how a waterfall, the sound of water gushing? I could hear like it was actually so cool, and I really wished I had recorded it, but of course I had no idea to be expecting that. I actually recorded it the next day of day 3, but it didn't happen that time. But anyway, that was kind of cool. I kept up with my pain drops all day with my meds, consistently put in the lubricating drops. What I did for entertainment was I basically just lay in bed. I had a whole playlist set up before I went for the surgery. I had a watch later playlist on YouTube of stand-up comedians of like Louis C.K. and Conan and Fluffy. They kept me so entertained. It was so fun. I was able to open my eyes a little bit at a time. For the most part of the day, I did keep them closed. I only opened them a little bit just to like see where I am in the watch later playlist or to add new videos. So I just lay in bed, closed my eyes, and listened to that. It was great. It was so great. The pain was totally manageable with the pain drops. The pills helped if I needed extra help. The contact lens did irritate my eyes a little bit. It was kind of like when you wear contacts and they get super dry, or you sleep with them and you wake up and that kind of dry, scratchy feeling. I felt like a newborn puppy because my eyes were so fragile. Day 3 was a checkup. I went back in. They told me everything was healing just fine. Came back home and I rested some more. I was finally able to open my eyes a bit more this day. They were still very light sensitive. Reading the phone on my text was still very difficult. Reading the text on my phone was still difficult, so I had to blow it up to huge, and I just kept listening to some more stand-up comedy. If you decide to get this done, I highly recommend Gabriel Iglesias, or Fluffy. He has some really funny and vivid storytelling that kept me very captivated and entertained the whole time. Okay, day 4. Day 4, I was able to open my eyes a little bit more, even though they're not as relaxed and wide as they usually are. Light sensitivity is almost gone. I'm still putting in my antibiotic and anti-inflammatory drops, which are, actually I have it written here, Zymar and Pred Forte, and occasional lubricating drops. I hadn't gotten a full night of independent sleep since the surgery until day 4. I had to rely on the pain medication to be able to fall asleep. So day 4, I was able to fall asleep independently. I haven't bathed yet since the surgery, so I was feeling pretty grubby. I have written here, today is instant noodles and bathing day, so I'm super excited. I also say here, the entire experience has been like that of initial feeling of receiving a gift, except constantly and consistently the whole time. It's been incredible. Even during the pain, a part of me felt satisfied that I was earning the perfect vision that I'll be getting soon. I actually wouldn't have minded a longer recovery time. There was some fun in the discomfort, knowing that I'll emerge from it stronger. Day 5, I go back in for another checkup and they remove my contact lens. At this point, my vision is at -2.0 and they feel pretty gritty once they remove these contact lenses. Day 6, it still feels like there's sand in my eye since they removed the contact lenses. But later in the day, that feeling went away. Okay, first week, my vision is sort of in and out. They're kind of dry, but they were also dry before the surgery, so it was nothing new to me. I'm getting used to waking up and having that like, oh shit, I forgot to take my contacts out feeling. I am experiencing a bit of ghosting and double vision. It's like when you're really tired and your eye muscles relax and everything slightly doubles because you're zoning out. It's sort of like that. Second week, I'm still experiencing the ghosting, but I get windows of clarity though. Sometimes I'll blink, and when I open them, everything will be crystal clear and sharp, but then I'll blink again and it'll open back up to ghosting. People keep asking me, how are your eyes? Can you see 2020 yet? Must be great. But no, I can't see 2020 quite yet. At around 2.5 weeks, I went the first day without using a single drop of lubricant drops. At that point, I was pretty fine without them, only needing them once in a while. Doggy on my lap. 1 month, I go to the checkup again, everything is healing fine, just as usual. I was worried about haloing and starbursts at nighttime because I had read that's a common problem with PRK online, but I did not experience that at all. I was also told that my eyes will be drier than they were before, but I also didn't experience that. Okay, at 2 months, I don't need lubricating drops at all anymore. My vision is still not crystal clear, it's still ghosting a little bit. It's improved, not that bothersome. I finally finished my FML drops. In the morning, my eyes sting, and it also stings when I cry. It's like my tears hurt my eyes, which is kind of funny. Other than that, I still have no starbursts, no haloing, dryness, or light sensitivity. And then at about 6 months, I went back in for another checkup. It was at this checkup that they told me I have a little bit of astigmatism. I didn't have astigmatism before the surgery, so it was an unfortunate side effect that I developed. You know, it happens. It's very rare, but it happens to some people. It's actually very mild. I thought it was just a ghosting that was taking a really long time to heal, but because it's a lifetime warranty type of thing, if the surgery goes wrong, any other future surgeries are covered by the initial fee, so I wouldn't have to pay any more to fix it. So the doctor recommended either waiting more to see if that goes away, or I could have this other surgery, which I forget the name of, but it'll correct the astigmatism, but it might only be a temporary correction and the astigmatism would come back. And I wasn't really into invading my eyes again and getting that all lasered. It was a very short healing time for that. I think it was a day or two just to heal from that surgery, but I decided to leave my eyes alone, see what happens. So it has been 3 years now. Still no haloing or starburst at all. If anything, my vision is clearer at night. No haloing, no starburst. The dryness, I would say again it's still the same as before my surgery. The astigmatism, I don't know if it's improved because I haven't gone back in for a checkup since then. I don't know if it's improved or if I've just gotten used to it, but I don't really notice it anymore. Like, I can sit in a lecture hall of like 300 people, sit all the way in the back, and I can still see the prof slides at the front. I haven't had any issues. I would say sometimes when I'm really tired and I'm trying to read on my screen, the text will double a little bit, but that doesn't happen too often. It seems to happen less and less as time goes by, because that's the thing with PRK healing timelines, it takes a very long time. I think at this point at 3 years I should be maxed out and stabilized at where I am, but they did tell me that it takes a year or sometimes even 2 years to fully get the full effects of laser eye surgery. But of course you could see very well way before that. My experience with laser eye surgery has been overall great. That week of healing was literally the best week of my life. It was the week where I get to do shit and just stay at home and be as lazy as possible. It was the greatest week of my life, no doubt. It was fantastic, fan-freaking-tastic. I got to be in isolation. I got to be alone and stay at home for an entire week. And for some people that might be horrible, but I love being alone. Like, I love my friends, but I also love being alone, and they know that, and the week was just great. Overall, I would say the healing process wasn't that bad. If you resist taking the pain medication, then you might have a harder time, but if you just let yourself have them, it's fine. It was not that painful, but then again, I didn't really mind the pain too much. I wasn't really afraid of it, so yes, I am absolutely glad that I got the surgery, even though I got a small side effect of a little bit of astigmatism, which I'm not sure is even around anymore. I think there is a little bit, but it's barely noticeable. So those are my experiences with PRK laser eye surgery. I probably skipped over a whole bunch of details and information because there's just so much to cover. But if you have any questions about it, because I'm sure a lot of you are debating getting it, which a lot of people are, if I left anything out, if you have any more questions you'd like to talk about it or any kind of things that you're wondering, comment down below and let me know. Talk to me, ask me stuff. I would love to talk to you guys, so thanks for watching.